Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Alexa Disventure, and today we're going to be doing the season review of BTA, the Disventure Season 1, Adventure Camp, the Total Drama Adventure, however you know this season as. Before we begin, a few things to note. First off, the background footage is not owned by me, it is owned by Odd Nation Cartoons. This season review will include spoilers for basically everything around the BTA, so if you've not watched the BTA and you want to avoid spoilers, go watch the BTA before watching this video. As well, do note that this is just my opinion and my thoughts on the season. If you have different ones, that is completely fine. Everyone has different opinions, and again, that's how the world works. Anyways, so in my videos, I do sections to maintain organization in case you want to skip around and add a bit too. So the sections for this video are the intro, which we are on right now, the history, and what even is Adventure Camp, where I give a basic history, what Adventure Camp is, all that jazz. Then we have the characters, arcs, the plots, etc., all in there. Though we do have a separate section for the subplot because that's an entire other thing to tackle. That will include all the hosts, Chris and Chef, because Chris and Chef again are featured within the season. And then we have the overall thoughts on the season, where I give my personal overall thoughts on the season as a whole, and then we have the conclusion of the video. Alrighty, without anything further to say, let's get this started!
I don't know, what was I thinking when I agreed to come here? I guess it's for Master Chef.
Adventure Camp is a series created by, okay, if I butcher these names, I am so sorry. Oh my gosh, okay. Jared Madrigal and Robert Castellanos. With 10 episodes, it is now known as the BTA version of Disventure Camp Season 1. It can also be known as Total Drama Adventure, depending on when you watched it. The first episode, known as Here We Go Again, was released on April 1st, 2021, and the finale, which is known as Not So Happy Finalists, and it is 2 parts, but the Part 2 was released on August 12th, 2021. It was fully Spanish dubbed with English subtitles, so I did have to read subtitles most of the season. However, there is one episode in English, which is English dubbed, however, after they stopped. I don't know why, but maybe one of y'all do know. The season was actually taken down originally due to Fresh TV copyright, as Chris and Chef are actually featured within the season and are main parts of the subplot, which becomes very important come the finale. If you ever do want to check out this season on your own, you can go to the Adventure Camp channel on Odd Nation Cartoons. You can just scroll down on their actual channel. And if you want to find the one English dubbed episode, I'll put the link in the description. However, you can also check the wiki. At this time of the recording, the link is also on there as well. This season itself had a trailer released before we actually get to see everything here. And also, this is unique to specifically Adventure Camp, there's actually canon auditions. So you can also check those out. However, it's only in Spanish, and the subtitles are also only in Spanish. So to all my English viewers, unless you know Spanish, no luck there. But yeah, alrighty. Now that we know a bit of what Adventure Camp actually is and a bit of the history of it, we can move on to really talking about the characters, arcs, and all their plots.
I don't know, what was I thinking when I agreed to come here? I guess it's for Master Chef.
So, for this section, I'm going to be going in boot order from the first boot to the official winner. I do know there's an alternate ending with the winner, which is the only season to actually do that. However, we're going to be going for the official, so it's easier for me and makes it a bit more understanding. So, also for the auditions, do remember again that I stated earlier, they're only in Spanish, subtitles and otherwise, and I don't know Spanish personally, so anything regarding the auditions for the characters, it will not be included in this section. I do apologize for that. So let's just get started with Dan. Dan basically had no arc, no plot, which it is first boot. I'm not expecting to have an entire full arc. But the thing is, I know basically nothing about Dan, like in the actual show. Like, he got like 5 lines. His label is the know-it-all, and that's basically all I actually know about him. However, I do think he got the correct placement that he should have in the actual show, which is first boot. So the next character we're going to discuss is Will. Will also didn't really have an arc or plot. His entire character was basically just fear of things, like he was just afraid of everything, and as well, Fiore just used him as bait, which was quite entertaining, I'll say that. He really only served to the plot to get Lil to be more suspicious of Fiore, however, really no one believes him, and he is the second boot. The thing I do want to note here is Will and Ashley never become a couple. In fact, Ashley's only interaction with Will this entire season is calling him unhinged for thinking Fiore could do such a thing. I swear, I was heartbroken when I heard that. But anyways, the next character we're going to discuss is Gabby. In the reboot, Gabby made it a lot farther. And so this season I remember, because I actually rewatched the entire season before this, I remember on my first watch that I thought she was fine. I was so wrong. She is easily my favorite character of this entire BTA season. Oh my gosh. Her insaneness was so fun to watch. The way she just goes up to Ellie. Oh my gosh. Her and Ellie interactions were so adorable this season. She also has her condition in the BTA season. I don't know what the condition is called. I'm no medical professional, so I'm just gonna call it the other side that she has. We barely got to see much of it here. We got to see more of it definitely in the reboot. It's interesting, you know what I mean? Honestly, the entire time, the sad part is she just eventually came to the plot to be just Gret's plot armored shield. That's what she became, and that hurt me so much. But again, Gabby and Ellie's interactions were the absolute sweetest. She is the sweetest this season, and when she's insane, it's so entertaining. But yeah, Gabby was robbed, and she should have made it farther, or she should have won the season. Whichever it is. But anyways, next up was Ashley. Ashley this season, I really don't know how to feel. Like, to me, I did like her bond with Fiore here. It was interesting. And the way she just cried when she was reading Fiore's diary, that hurt me. Like, she was so hurt by the fact that Fiore was actually calling her that on her journal, which, oh my god, it was just sad to watch. She didn't really have much of a friendship with Lil, but it was there, I guess. I don't know. Otherwise, she didn't really interact with anybody else, and then she got more robbed here than she did in the actual reboot. Like, we say she's robbed in episode 5, right? Here, she just gets shot with tranquilizers because Gret's like, you know, why not help Fiore out to get an idol? And she just decided that's what they came up with. And Fiore wanted to just... We're lucky Ashley got this ending compared to all the other endings Fiore was really thinking of. Like, I get she read it, but like, ugh. Otherwise, she didn't really serve much to the plot other than being a shield so Fiore can just get her out. We got a few snippets of her past here and there, like one line or so. I guess she was also the country girl, but we never really got to see that, so there's that. Otherwise, Ashley was fine this season. She didn't really bring much to the plot. She didn't really have an arc. A lot of these early boots basically had no arcs at all. So, the next one booted was Lil, and this is when merge happens. They do merge, I think, in like episode 4 by memory, which, darn, that's early. Oh my gosh. But still, Lil was actually really enjoyable for me to watch. I did like how she was slowly growing to the suspicion of Fiore, figured out Fiore, and continued trying to push it to the others. It was so entertaining, and being set up as Fiore's main rival, it really had a lot of potential to continue. However, sadly, Lil gets booted in the episode where it's Fiore's exposed. So I guess, but I kind of wish they made it to where Lil was the one who officially exposed Fiore, not some stupid confessional. Like, make it to where they believe Lil. Maybe Nick, because clearly one conversation can convince someone to ask someone update. Like, Lil and Nick's romancing quotes, I hated it so much. Anytime it was on screen, I wanted to skip the scene. It just did not work with me. I did not like it in the slightest at all. I didn't like their interactions. I mean, in the end, I guess they forgave each other and are like friends or something. I don't even know at this point. But that was the one thing with Lil I just actively disliked and did not want to see on my screen. So there is that. Otherwise, Lil had good interactions with, say, Ashley, the way she interacted with Will. Well, I guess I would have to say she's actually one of my favorites BTA-wise. Obviously, in the official, she ain't, but here, she's just great. Also, she gives Lillian Morris vibes from Pearl Islands so strong from Survivor. It's just always there in my mind now when I see Lil. But yeah, the next character we're going to be discussing is BTA Miriam. Miriam had an arc more so to where she learned how to open up to Jake and Tom. All it took is Jake and Tom throwing a challenge for her, which she'd been wanting to go home the entire time. Like, she had been begging to get these people to vote her out. In fact, the only reason Gabby managed to go out is because Tom and Jake said, well, Tom made a deal saying, we'll vote you next. And then, so I don't understand how that's what it took for Miriam to open up to Jake and Tom. But regardless, it was sweet seeing her become a nice person. Though in her elimination episode, she basically got no screen time. Once she had her arc, she was just cut. It was, again, the way she was like, please solve your problems, don't fight. It was just, the way she became was nice and sweet. Also, I cannot get over how short she is compared to the rest of the cast. As well, any time in the English dub she spoke, I was laughing so hard. I'm sorry, but I could not keep myself from laughing as hard as possible when I saw her on screen. To the plot, she really just kind of served as support for Jake and Tom and gave Jake and Tom something to do. So I guess there's that, but otherwise Miriam was a cool character. Do I prefer her season 1 reboot version? Heck to the yes. Though again, her BTA version is amazing, 10 out of 10, and she deserved that immunity win. I don't care that they threw. I know she would have won anyway. She's just that amazing. Anyways, we move on to Tom. So when I first watched, Tom was easily my favorite. Here, I do like him. He just ain't my favorite. Gabby gets that. Which, interestingly enough, on the Tom and Gabby dynamic, if you've watched season 1, you know they're besties. Here, they're enemies. Like, Tom gets Gabby out. Like, enemies to besties. Wow, we had a switch up there. But anyways, Tom doesn't really have an arc this season. I don't think. I didn't see it. However, him and Jake are a mess. Even more than season 1. I didn't know that was possible, but clearly it is. Like, I hated it when these two interact. I wanted them to separate and be at a distance forever. I do like how Tom was interesting as spy, though I do find it stupid. You're trying to hide your identity and you're on a reality TV show and you sacrificed yourself for Jake, so you clearly don't need the money. So why did you come on a reality show if you're a spy and you need to keep it for security purposes? As well, he admits it right away to the camera with millions of people watching. Like, this doesn't cover up, the mask doesn't cover up much. I'm sure whoever's after him can find him and hunt him down here. This was just stupid. And they probably just confirmed the suspicions. Dumb, dumb, dumb. As well, when he found the totem and sacrificed himself for Jake. That was really sweet of him to do, and it was sweet, though I wanted Jake out ASAP, so I was just like, why? Jake could have gone sooner. He really could have. But still, Tom was a fun character to watch. His rivalry with Gret was also hilarious to me. And the way he got revenge, look. Am I upset Gabby got booted from it? Absolutely. However, their revenge was beautiful, and he used his own words, her own words against her. Beautiful. I can't not love that. But yeah, otherwise he didn't. Again, he comes a lot more into the subplot, so I guess I'll save the rest of my thoughts on Tom for the subplot more so, because it's a huge part of it, and therefore we'll just save it for that. So next up, we actually have to talk about Gret. Gret, to me, her backstory here was very interesting because she said that her brother here always bragged about his accomplishments. She never got to be as good as him. So she came onto the show wanting to prove she could be the best at something. And so she goes so ham on the game just to have a chance at winning. And that makes me really like Gret for that reasoning. However, otherwise she annoys me half to death. She was an idiot and automatically betraying the alliance, though I do understand why she did it. She didn't want to tie. But like still, yeah, that's something, I guess. In a rivalry with Tom, again, I was entertained anytime they fought, and I wanted to see them fight more because entertainment and revenge. She really wanted to save Tom for the last course so she can just beat him up and just beat him. Like, wow. The fact that Fiore here is just sticking with Gret, and Gret and Fiore kind of form some sort of bond. Like, here she's just like, the dwarf is annoying, I want to take the dwarf to the finale to win. Which, the dwarf is an interesting nickname, I'll say that. Her personality is more just, she gives such Heather vibes here. A lot more Heather vibes in the actual show. And the way she is now in All-Stars, and just looking back at BTA Gret, it's a long way. We went a long journey, alright? A long, long journey. As well, I do think I've heard that BTA Gret appears in some other series. I don't know the series. I didn't want to go hunt down what episode or hunt down where, so she does appear somewhere else. I don't know where, but it might add to her character. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll review that. But anyways, next up is Nick. Okay, so I have an entire video on Nick. Y'all know my thoughts. BTA Nick was also one of my favorites. The way he just felt likable. Like, when he was stupid, once he realized the truth, he immediately went to target Fiore and tried to get her out episode after episode. And I laughed at the fact that everyone just forgot him. I'm sorry, but I found it extremely funny how he served so little to the plot to where no one even remembered him. That was his only arc, and he only came here for, like, an experience. I do hate Nick and Lil as anything, so I don't know. I just did not like that, but otherwise I did really like Nick as a character. He was fun to watch for me. He was likable to me, and did he basically do nothing? Yeah, but at a point, you know, I found the way they forgot him. Also, he should have gotten 3rd and not 4th. Jake, actually, that goes for anyone. Pretty much everyone should have gone farther than Jake. Speaking of which, we're on to Jake. Alright, so I'm gonna try to be my calmest when it comes to talking about Jake here. It's not been a character to where I want him to get off my screen faster or makes me want to punch a wall. When it comes to Jake, he doesn't have a reason for being a gullible moron. In fact, he prides in it at this point, I think, because he believes every darn thing he's told. If he's told something, he'll believe it. It doesn't matter what. He will believe it instantly. It does not matter. Alright, let's go things positively. Let's try to remain positive about Jake for a second. I like how he immediately tries to apologize to Tom at one point, and I like how he's trying to help Miriam out for his grandmother. I appreciate that dynamic, like the dynamic in the reboot. I do really appreciate that. Another thing I appreciate... Oh, wait. Is that it? Yes! The Jake and Ellie friendship had like one scene, and after that, he just fully believes her. Everything in fact, he does not listen to Tom at multiple points because he refuses. He just thinks what Ellie said is pure fact. I get they are friends. I get that. But Tom, you're with Tom. What? At least communicate with him. At least tell him about this instead of automatically believing it. In fact, if Ellie never told him that he had lied, he probably would have never tried to stop in his life again. Never again. Told him if he didn't as well, he's just flat out annoying. He complains half the time, and he just goes back with Ellie and becomes friends with her, and is mad when she picks the child over him. No crap, she's proven multiple times she values the money. She needs this money because she needs jobs. And now you're just expecting her, we're friends again. And after all, you said if you're just gonna beat her in the finale, be satisfied with it. So, all right. We're gonna talk about Fiore now, so I don't have to rant about the PTA Jake anymore and get mad over that. So when it came to Fiore this season, I do think it was really helpful that in the reboot they gave her something more to bounce off of rather than just Gret. I did like her here. She was a great villain. I was entertained. It was unique. I do kind of wish the reveal happened a bit later instead of just happening kind of just like instantly. I'm an evil child. And I do wish that more people than just Flo were kind of suspecting her, but otherwise I don't really care. The way she tried to, they moseyed around and merged, Fiore and Gret, it was great. The way she gave the fake totem to Gret was also great, quite entertaining, though I kind of wish it was real so Jake could have gone earlier. But otherwise, Fiore's loss was beautiful, and I cannot get over the fact she got ran over by a bus. I'm just sick, so I do think it's way too far, but like, the fact they even thought of that, and the fact they even animated that and improved it, just beautiful. Moving on to our winner, Ellie. So if you've seen my channel before, you know I'm an avid Season 1 Ellie fan. Very big fan. So here, you'd think I'd be a fan of her, right? She's just okay. She kind of just exists. Like, I don't care that she won. At least it wasn't Jake. Well, it was fine. She was fine here. She was cool. Again, Gabby and Ellie interaction and supremacy. Also, they spelled her name E-L-I. Don't you pronounce that Eli? And during the entire season, they pronounce it Ellie. So, I'm just confused on that factor, to be real. Otherwise, her entire arc, she's a lot sweeter here and a lot nicer and a lot more remorseful here than the actual show. Because she literally admits to her lie. Not only that, she tries multiple times to make up with Jake. She's just a kind of a sweetheart. Like, obviously, she lied and stuff like that, but she's a lot sweeter here than she was originally. But yeah, she's also a lot more lonely, per se, because she barely interacts with anyone. In the actual show, she interacts with, like, everybody and becomes their enemy. Here, she's just, I don't know. It's interesting. I do overall like the cast. I do prefer most of their reboot Season 1 versions. BTA, Gabby, Supremacy, and we're just going to move on to these subplots.
I don't know what was I thinking when I agreed to come here. I guess it's for MasterChef.
I'm going to start with talking about the host, then we'll move into the subplot, and during the subplot we'll talk about Chris and Chef, since if you've seen Whole Drama, you already know who Chris and Chef are. I don't really need to explain that, as well as Tom will be reintroduced into this conversation there. Alrighty, so with the hosts, we have Jared, and Jared was... The entire time I saw him on screen, I just thought Yule, because when I was watching the English dub, that episode 1, right, he sounded so much like Yule. Turns out, Jared's English dub voice actor is the voice actor for Yule. I am pretty sure that's the case. I could be wrong here. So now I'm stuck, it is stuck in my head that Jared is if Yule became a host, because, like, it's giving that energy to me. Anyway, he's okay of a host. He works. He's fine. He's basically Chris, except, I don't know, different in a little bit of ways, I guess. And then we have Jensen, who is just as irrelevant as he was in the actual reboot season. Jokes aside, he barely is on the screen. We barely get to know him at, like, Jensen in the reboot, so there's really not much to note on him, except here he manages to steal the $1 million away from Ellie, which, how dare you? I'm betting she would have given some of that money to Gabby. So Gabby could have got, okay, we're not going on that rant, but still. So the subplot wise, it kind of just existed. Like, there was hints here and there, but oh my gosh, did it get dark. And it really took a lot of focus in the finale episodes, which that kind of intrigued me. But that's when turns out, in this universe, Tom was originally in the military with Chef, or something like that, which that I think I find so interesting. So technically, but why did he go onto the show in the first place? Did Chef recruit him to go onto the show or something? Because, I don't know, I'm not even gonna question it, but still, the darker tone that the BTA had here was kind of, I don't know. It worked. It was interesting as well just to see the darker tone, especially with the reboot. It went for not as bad of a but I get it was understandable. I mean, if Trevor and Derek are gonna come back again, it couldn't have been this bad. But I also find Jared's past really interesting, being an intern. I think that's one of the most interesting parts of the entire BTA season, is some of the subplot aspects. So I do have to say, I did enjoy the subplot at some points. Did I question it at other points too? Yes, that I did do, but overall, I did kind of like it. I don't know, I do kind of prefer the reboot season ones overall, and there's not really much more about to say about the hosts. I wish I had more to say, but yeah. Alrighty, we're gonna be moving on to my overall thoughts on the season.
I don't know what was I thinking when I agreed to come here. I guess it's for MasterChef.
So my overall thoughts when it came to this season, I did not enjoy it as much as, say, the reboot of the BTA season 1 or season 2, or as much as Disventure Camp All-Stars has been so far, but still, it was fine. I'd say it's an okay season. There are a lot of plots that bring it down, like Tom and Jake. I'm sorry, I hate it. Lil and Nick, I'm sorry, I also hate that. A few aspects that didn't make a lot of sense. BTA Jake is horrible, and I hate him. So there's all that, but still there's a lot of positives. BTA Gabby is, I can't. She's incredible. Also, BTA Lil is great. BTA Ellie is something. Fiore and Gret are enjoyable at points. Well, at points, specifically. And it was, again, it's a lot shorter of a watch too than the original seasons, so that might also play a factor into why some of the plots weren't as fleshed out or as well done. But even so, I haven't really mentioned the animation and voice acting yet, but it's something. I mean, obviously they've improved so much until this point, which is genuinely impressive given the fact this was only 3. And you see how much it's improved to Disventure Camp All-Stars. So that's really insane. And the voice acting, I can't understand Spanish, so I really don't know how well it's being done. But yeah, on that topic, Scarlett's Spanish voice actress is actually the voice actress for Ellie, and it's actually continued. BTA Ellie and all Ellies has been voiced by the actual Spanish Scarlett voice actress. I think that's just so cool. But anyways, overall, fine season. It's okay. There are points I kind of wished it would be better. Points I thought it was good. Overall, fine. Alrighty, let's just move on to the conclusion of the video.
I don't know what was I thinking when I agreed to come here. I guess it's for MasterChef.
Alrighty, what were your thoughts on the BTA season? If you've seen it, I would love to hear in the comments down below. And your opinion on some of the characters, whatever, I would appreciate it. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed my opinions and my review on the season BTA Adventure Camp, Total Drama Adventure, whatever it's called. Thank you so much again, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, everybody!